that shit.
Welcome to Trash Talk MMA.
Smile on my face, behind my back, they talk trash.
The #1 podcast for news and insight that matters in the world of mixed martial arts.
I don't want to hear it.
Brought to you live and unfiltered from all four corners of the globe
That's what you said.
by MMA aficionado Antoine Pelche.
Yo, and welcome to the Trash Talk MMA podcast. I'm your host, Antoine Pelche, and today I have two very special guests with me in Phuket, Thailand. Legendary striking coach, Roberto Flamingo, and UFC lightweight contender, Piotr Hallman. Roberto, Peter, how you guys doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine, and you?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. It's the middle of the week. We get past Monday. If you can survive Monday, everything else after that's gold, right?
Yeah, so is that.
So you guys are currently training at Tiger Muay Thai. I imagine that this is for Peter's upcoming fight on June 20th in Berlin.
Yes,
UFC
exactly.
Fight Night. What number is that? 2,020 million? They've got so many.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
I don't know.
I was just telling a friend. I was looking at the calendar, and there's a UFC event every single weekend till like the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so many fights.
And it's just a few short years ago that I think a lot of us were like complaining. We're like, oh, it's such a long wait, between events. And now it's like, you can't have a life outside of just your work during the week and then watching fights on the weekend.
Yeah.
Are you guys big fans of watching the events live?
Yeah, me, especially when there are good fights, I always watch. And, because of Piotr also, then I watch the lightweight to see what they are doing, because you never know who you're gonna face, and it can be a top 10 guy or top 15 or whatever. So I watch a lot of fights.
Yeah, the lightweight division in the UFC is it's a Shark Tank.
Yeah.
You're in there. Who are some of the guys that impress you, Peter, in the lightweight division?
I don't know. Last fight, the title fight was really good.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think
Were you expecting Rafael dos Anjos to put on that type of dominant performance against a stud like Anthony Pettis?
Maybe not expecting, but I knew it could go that way because he's very good, Rafael.
Yeah. All right. So we got tons of things to talk about. Roberto, you're a legendary striking coach. You've worked with the likes of, so many guys: Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort, Thiago Silva, CR, Eddie Alvarez, Fedor Emelianenko, Anthony Johnson. What an incredible legacy you have there. Tell us a little bit how you became involved with so many great people.
Yes, I was 13 years old when I moved from my original country, Suriname in South America, to Holland.
How old were you at that time?
13 years old.
13 years old?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I was 16 years old, I tried to do kickboxing and playing soccer.
Okay.
So I was doing sport for like 7 days a week, and one day soccer, one day kickboxing, and back and forward the whole week. And I did that till I was 34 years old. Then I stopped playing soccer and keep going with the kickboxing.
Why did you choose one over the other? Because a lot of people would say, hey, I could stay and make a lot more money playing soccer than kickboxing.
Yeah, but that was my biggest part at the time when I was playing soccer and do fighting. At that time I was fighting and I get like $50. Huh?
Right.
Yeah? And I was playing soccer and I get 10 grand for the season. So that was easy choice for me. I was keep training but not fighting that much. Because if I was fighting on Saturday, I couldn't play on Sunday because of kickboxing. Most of the time you injure your ankle, your chin, or there's something. So I was keep training kickboxing, but not competing a lot, because with soccer I get much more money than with kickboxing. So that's why I did it in that way. But and coaching, I think I was starting when I was like 27 or something like that, 28. I started to coach, and from there on at my original gym when I started, Lucien Carbine, I trained there for 23 years, and then I left there and I started to coach Alistair Overeems.
So that was like in around 2007, right?
I always help him before with his camp because we were training at the same gym. Always I help him with his camp. In 2005 I went with him to Pride Grand Prix in Japan. And 2007 I really started to train him and do his striking, and from there on, we did great thing. 6 year undefeated and K1 strike.
And I mean, I remember watching that, and it's sad because that's almost kind of my last memory of a really big K1 event. Like I remember we were watching it on HDNet in the United States, and Overeem just went on that incredible run, and then he won the heavyweight title in Dream, and then he won the heavyweight title in Strikeforce, and his anticipation of getting into the UFC was at an all-time high, and then he came in and beat Brock Lesnar. Were you also a part of that fight when you beat Brock?
I was part of that fight.
So have you been involved with Alistair Overeems with every fight pretty much since he left? Because he left Golden Glory?
Before that also, we were working together, and he was twice a week he went there to the head office of Golden Glory just to spar, and during the week I was doing his striking, and it went like that. And also a good friend Martin de Jong was helping him with the ground game. So that's how it went during that period. And when he stopped at Golden Glory, I still
stayed on board.
Stay on board and do this.
Now, I mean, there's so many rumors around Alistair Overeems, and that a lot of people claim that he's difficult to train with. He's changed camps a lot. I mean, there's some guys even like Boss Rutten who think that he's jumped too many camps. There's a lot of people that are very critical of Overeems' choices of how he's moved around of late. You've been with him for 10 years. What do you have to say about Alistair? Is he easy to work with? I mean, obviously this is somebody that you respect and admire. You wouldn't keep working with him, right?
It's easy to work with. When I started with him, I live in Amsterdam. He live in Amersfoort, and we had an appointment like 5 o'clock. I have to be there in Amersfoort to train with him, and he was there, and we trained. And sometime after the training, we trained like 1.5 to 2 hours. And then when I'm back at my home, he texts me, "Oh man, coach, you killed me today." It was just, hey, be there at that time, and we just training, not complaining, and I had a good time with him, and we still okay with each other, because like now I'm here in Thailand, and he was asking me to do Peter his camp and his camp a little bit together, but I think we're not gonna make it because he want to be in a different part of Thailand. So I don't know if that's gonna happen, but
So I mean, your experience with working with Overeems has always been a really good, mutually respectful, productive, professional one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, so now you're working with Piotr Hallman. Peter, you've had 4 fights in the UFC. You're 2-2, 2 submission wins, 2 tough decision losses, a whole bunch of fight of the night type performances and bonuses. How's your experience so far been in the UFC, and when did you two connect? Roberto, have you been involved with Peter for his 4 fights in the UFC?
No, I met Piotr. I even cannot remember because Piotr told me that back in the days he trained a couple times with me in Amsterdam, but so many guys I cannot remember. Yeah,
you must just.
But it was like more than 1 year ago. I met his manager on an event in UK.
Okay.
Then we were talking, and we just talk and nothing else. And 2 or 3 months later, he gave me a call and he said, "Hey, I have a guy here. His name is Piotr, and he's a little bit down because he's striking. He want to work on his striking. Can you help him?" Then I told him, it's okay. And I think 2 or 3 weeks later, I went to Poland, trained with him for 3 weeks, and it was on.
Okay.
And from that moment, we had 2 fights together. First, Yves Edwards, which he won by submission, and his last fight against Leisen Tibau put on a good fight, and so he's doing well, and you can see that since since that we saw that he improved and do a lot of more things on with this striking also. So we are on a good way.
Well, it's funny because Piotr, you're saying that, or that Roberto, you were saying that your manager Peter came to Roberto wanting to make your striking better. But I mean, you do have 7 knockouts, 7 submissions. You're obviously a very well-rounded fighter. What are some of perhaps the holes in your game, or what are some of the areas of improvement that you're trying to get out of working with Roberto?
Yeah, like going to the UFC for me, it was like going to deep water. I was just training in my home city in one club, you know. So like my first fight was, I don't have much time to prepare, like I think month or maybe 1.5 months. Something.
So you got the offer, the call to
have
a UFC
they
fight
called
in
me
a month.
just, and yeah, of course you don't refuse. Yeah, I wanted to go there for for a long time.
Yeah.
And then I win my first fight, and then like maybe 2 weeks after, they call me to get second fight. It was also short notice, and yeah, also I took that fight and I lose, and I see that I have to improve that, yeah, to stay on the division, and they could put you in against anybody.
Now that was against Ally and Quinta too, right?
Yeah.
And he's put on some incredible performances of late, so I don't think there's any shame in
but
it
it was like going into the deep water, you know, and I see if you want to stay there, you have to improve. And I saw in my hometown it will be tough, you know, and then I was thinking where I can go, and because I am in the army at that time I could not leave, and my manager told me there is one guy, it's possible to work with him. He gave me his Skype, we talk, and then he came to Poland, and those 3 weeks we stay first at Poland really impressed me, and I see how much potential the coach have and how far I can go with him, and so for me it was easy choice to continue.
Excellent. Now you're also a second lieutenant in the Polish Navy, is that correct?
In the army right now.
In the army, okay. Yeah. So are you still juggling then both jobs? I mean, you're a
but they like
fighter
they support me, and I have a lot of support that I can go do my camps, and
Now, would you like to be able to compete solely in the UFC? Would you like to be able to just fight full time, or did you actually want to continue both careers?
Yeah, I pretty much do it. It's not like I'm army make me any problem with that. So yeah, of course, UFC is my passion, and I have just one life, and it's what I want to do.
Because I mean, that must be an interesting balance. I mean, Roberto, I'm sure in your history with the amount of people you've worked with, I'm sure you've worked with a lot of full-time fighters. I mean, just the big stars you've worked with, obviously they get to train full-time. But I'm sure you've also dealt with a lot of people like Peter who have either had to or want to keep 2 jobs. How do you find that's impacted people's ability to improve and to really, succeed in fighting?
Yeah, the only difference in this is because he's from Poland. I live now in Amsterdam, so we have to move back and forward.
How do you guys manage that? I mean, how much time do you guys get to spend working together over the course of a year?
Now I think
or in Amsterdam. Amsterdam is cool, and I buy my scooter there, so.
Yeah. So you actually you prefer to go travel to Amsterdam in terms of Roberto there?
It's easier because Roberto have also his family, and it's easier for me to move than for him to move to Poland. Yeah, but sometimes he go to Poland, and we also have good times there. And before the camp, we have to travel somewhere anyway. We just then when the fight is there, because we have big delay with my fight.
Yeah.
So then we stay more in Amsterdam, but before fight we just choose what at this time is better for us. Considering.
So when you're in Amsterdam, where do you guys train? In what facility?
Oh, I have a gym there in Amsterdam called Gym 3, and there is where we go. We train, and I also have a friend who have a gym also in Holland. We go spar there, and one of my fighters is also the Glory lightweight tournament champion 2013. So it's a good sparring partner.
Who's that?
Andy Risty.
Okay.
Yeah, the machine.
All right.
So so there's always.
I'm sure with the amount of time and people you've worked with there's no shortage of places for you to train, right? Yeah. Excellent. Now, do you handle exclusively his striking? Who do you bring in for the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu?
It depends on what we need for a fight. But I do his striking, but because of my experience, I also have my view about ground things and how to avoid that or how to attack. So
how does your striking training play into the ground game? I mean, do you also incorporate some defensive elements of to not being taken down? What aspect of that do you incorporate?
As a striking coach, you cannot. Because my background is kickboxing, so you cannot go with that in the MMA. Just like kickboxing, because MMA is different range.
Yep.
So you have to, when you do your drills, you have to do it based on that distance,
Yeah.
So that's how I work. Yeah.
Yeah. When I had James McSweeney on the show, we had an interesting conversation where I asked him to explain why is Dutch style Muay Thai so effective in mixed martial arts. What's your answer to a question like that? Like what makes Dutch style Muay Thai so effective in MMA?
Dutch Muay Thai is effective because of, if you look at these Thai guys, if you look what they're doing on the pads and then bam, do this and blah blah blah, and but in the MMA you cannot do that. If you do that, they take you down and So you also have to have that view of if after I do that I have to move there, or I have to do it from a different position, and that's how you do it. And with Dutch kickboxing, it's not like 4, 5, 6 combination. Most of the time, it's just like hardcore boom, hook, low kick, move away, straight, body shot, like that. And not all that crazy thing what the Thai guy are doing here in the midst.
Yeah, I mean, I think as martial arts fans, it's funny because they'll watch movies, they'll watch action shows, etc., and they'll see like action stars doing incredible moves, and people are like, hey, how come we don't see these moves in MMA?
Yeah.
Every now and then you will see Anthony Pettis do something crazy, bouncing off the cage, or going off of a hand. But I mean, it sounds really like Dutch style MMA really incorporates some simple yet highly effective, either solo or low count combinations, and that you're really aware of how you're repositioning yourself as you come back from those strikes, so that you're not being taken down or taken advantage of. Okay, awesome. So tell us, Peter, your next opponent is Magomed Mustafayev. Is that how you pronounce his name? Magomed Mustafayev. Maybe that's better.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Russian guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you know about Magomed?
Yeah, I watched some of his fights, and I think he will be a tough fighter, and it will be tough test. I cannot underestimate, because he's newcomer, he's hungry to win, of course, and I think it will be a good fight.
Did you have the what we call the UFC jitters the first time you went in the octagon? Everybody says that there's a certain fear that's exclusive to the UFC. It's the big stage, it's the bright lights, it's what every fighter dreams of getting into. How was your first experience when you walked into the octagon?
I was happy to be there. The main feeling was like I was happy to be there, and on the other hand, there was like all crowd against me because I fight Brazilian guy in Brazil.
Yep.
Yeah, but during the fight you don't think about this.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is interesting because you guys are going to be somewhat on neutral ground. You guys are going to be fighting in Berlin, Germany. You're Polish, he's Russian. It's his UFC debut. You've been out for a while. What do you think is going to happen? How are you approaching this fight? Because you've got a lot of first round finishes.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of stoppages. He's got nothing but 11 wins by stoppage as well. He's 11-1. So I mean, it looks like you're both quick starters, as we say.
Yeah.
No one's going to be feeling each other out much in the first round.
Yeah, I think, of course, I believe I win, but I don't estimate my opponent. So,
I mean, getting off quickly in the first round.
No, I don't think even about finish. When it's finishes there, then I go for it, or when But I don't think like I have to finish this guy in this round, or I just do what I have to do.
Yeah, when the opportunity presents itself, you finish him, and it's happened 8 times in the first round.
Yeah, and 15 minutes is a lot of time to make fight.
So why did you guys come specifically to Phuket and to Tiger Muay Thai?
Why? Yeah, you know, I know James McSweeney for I think almost 18 years now.
Okay, so you and James go way back.
Yeah, we were training at the same gym, same coaches, and we didn't see each other for a while. But since I think 2 years, we started to talk to each other again. We met each other because I was also in the US, you know, for 1.5 years. And then he already asked me a couple times, maybe to help him with his fight or come to Vegas, and but I didn't make it. And finally, I told him. He told me he's here in Phuket training at this gym. And I told him maybe it's a good idea to come over and see how it's over there, and maybe we can do Piotr's camp there. And so that's why.
So how's your experience been at Tiger? What do you guys think about Tiger Muay Thai?
Yeah, it's good. A lot of guys, and it's a big gym, and stay there is good. Food is good, and training is good. Yeah.
So have you just been training together? Have you guys been using the other trainers there, James, Roger?
No, we just train together, and James is not in now, so I do the striking class for him.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Because James he went to corner one of his fighters in Dubai.
James went to corner one of his fighters.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, great. So you're giving private classes, or you're giving his group classes?
Group classes. So I have him around with that, and he just signed with a promotion in Dubai, GFC. So I will help him for his when they announce his fight. I'm gonna help him also with the preparation for his fight.
Okay. So have you cornered James McSweeney many times? Or trained him?
Not in the past, but we're not gonna do it. We always help each other during the time that I was fighting. He was fighting. At that time, he was like 70 years, 80 years old. Boy, kick his ass in the gym, and and now, But I gonna help him. He asked me to help him with when they give him a fight. So I gonna corner him.
Now you mentioned before this you spent 1.5 years in the United States. Yeah. Where were you working when you were there?
I work as a striking coach at the Black Zillions with all these guys, Rashad, Fedor, Alistair, all these guys there. Yeah. I corner Rashad for his fight against Dan Henderson.
Okay.
Together with Kenny Monday, and
What do you think of the Black Zillions?
My experience there with the Black Zillions, the fighters are okay, you know, but between the coaches, it's not what it is. That's my experience. Yeah.
So what do you mean? You felt that there's some? It's not. What's the problem with the coaches?
For me, it doesn't matter where I go, which team or whatever. For me, it's like teamwork.
Yeah.
You know, and if people gonna look like this, or you come here to steal my job or whatever, so there cannot be a connection.
So did you feel like you had a hard time blending into the group?
And especially with a few guys. When I came there, because eventually Rashad is a guy that saw me when I was there with Alistair's camp for his fight against Bigfoot Silva.
Yep.
No, it was Junior Dos Santos, but that fight cancelled. And then Rashad saw me moving with Alistair, and then he went to the big boss and said, I want this guy to come over here. I want to move like him. I want to fight like him. So
Rashad saw you training with Alistair. He was impressed by what he saw, and then he wanted to work with you. Okay.
Yeah. So I went there, you know, and when I came there, then I was already a striking coach there. There was Harry Hoof. He was half a year or a little bit more before me. He was there. So I came there, and all the guys want to train with me. They come, hey, can we train? And he started to make all these stupid rules. First I have to go to him to ask to train with me, and I did that silly thing. So So no time for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not easy. I think in this sport, as you guys are both aware of, I'm sure there's a lot of big egos. There's a lot of people that are worried about their job security and worried about the way things are being perceived. And you just sound the type of guy, you just want to go in and help guys fight better.
Especially you're a team, and it cannot be like that. You went away with a fighter, like a guy like Rochard. I went away with him for his fight against Dan Henderson, and you come back the next Monday on the training, and then not even great, nice that you won the fight. No, not even that. You say like, oh, you're back. A little bit strange.
No congratulations.
No, nothing.
You just beat one of the best guys in the world.
Yeah.
But wow.
Stupid.
Okay, so besides the Black Zillions, did you train anywhere else there, or help coach anywhere else?
No. I was just there. The Black Zillions trained there and trained the fighters, and after I left, come back to Holland, and we did 2 of his camp at the lab in Arizona. It was okay. John Cross, nice guys, and that's more like a family. There are a lot of fighters in Piotr weight class, so it was nice to be there. I think last year we spent like maybe 5 months in Arizona, like that. So it's pretty much.
So Peter, when you fight, what affiliation do you claim? Like what's your fight team?
Flamingo.
Is
Roberto, we like together.
Just me.
So is there anybody else in this team?
No, it's just me.
Two-man army.
Yeah.
Okay.
No destruction. We know what we're talking about.
Okay.
And,
No, it's interesting. I mean, it's cool how you guys just move in a pair and you're doing your thing and training in different spots in different places. That's quite a different setup than a lot of these other guys have, who are just positioned in a camp. They've got their guys. They train. They bring a few guys like yourselves from the outside. But it sounds like you guys are almost like MMA nomads. Kind of just going wherever. Holland, Phuket, Amsterdam, Poland.
Yeah,
do you guys like that? Do you like that?
Yeah,
but
that also makes it special. You have a few in different teams, and they're training with different people. Different environments. So that's okay.
Is this kind of the first time that you've operated in this capacity? Because it sounds like if when you were in Holland, you were in the gym and you had the guys in there, bam, they had that team. If you were in the Black Zillions, you were almost like a guest coach there, if you will, training all those guys. And here it seems like you've really just put things down to the essence, and you're here working with one fighter.
Yeah, but with Alistair it was also like that, because we also did 2 or 3 camps here in Thailand.
Okay, yeah. So I guess that working with Overeem, that almost gave you the blueprint of how you're now working with Piotr.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. If anybody wants to work with you, Roberto, how can they work with you?
People that want to work with me, just go on my website www.robertoflamingo.com.
Yep.
And contact me.
All right. It's as easy as that. Just reach out.
Okay. Then we can arrange something. Yeah.
Okay.
Or a seminar or private or whatever. Just contact me.
Peter, anyone you want to shout out? Any other? Do you do any coaching? Do you have any other services besides obviously serving your country and kicking ass in the cage?
I do from time to time. I do seminar in Poland. The people contact me on my Facebook. So, yeah.
So you do like MMA-based seminars?
Yeah, MMA-based seminar.
All right. Do you work with any other Polish fighters as well?
Yeah, I have many friends in Poland that also fight. Some of them in Bellator, in other Polish organization, but mostly we are moving with Roberto. So
okay, yeah, that was pretty cool to see that a couple weekends ago that we had that UFC in Krakow.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch that?
Yeah, live.
Yeah.
No, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good. It was low on star power, but I think a lot of people came to fight on that card. There was some good scraps. And it's just part of this growth of the UFC. If they're going to put an event on every week, they gotta find new places and new talent.
Yeah.
They have those cards, and I think every single time you might not expect much out of the event, but there's always 1 or 2 people that come in and really shine on those European cards.
Yeah, but the people excited when especially people like in the fight business, they're excited when they hear UFC is coming over here, and the same to Holland. People cannot wait till the UFC is going to be in Holland. So
yeah, for us, I'm Canadian and I lived for 7 years in the United States, so we're so used to having the UFC and these big shows put on, and we take it for granted. And I think, and then when we see these smaller cards that they're putting on right now, we kind of feel like, who's this? I don't know anybody. You look at the card on Wikipedia, 3/4 of the fighters don't even have a Wikipedia entry, and you're like, how are they getting a shot in the UFC? It's just like, but guys, this is what has to be done. There's a huge generation of awesome star fighters that are all injured, retired, or just unable to compete any further. And you gotta find new people and give them lots of opportunities to compete a bunch and create a UFC record. Because it's the record that they have before that no one cares about.
No.
You know? So I think the UFC is in a difficult position where they need this growth, and there's going to be this decline in star power, and it's going to be slow to ramp it up, but they have to start somewhere. And I think this year is really that year where the UFC is making a huge emphasis of being like, we got to get into every country in the world that has good martial artists and put on a show.
Yeah, otherwise they're not going to get new guys in the UFC. So they give even their record is not like that. They give guys a chance to come and join the UFC, and it's important when you get a chance that you put on a good show. Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Roberto, it's an honor. I know you've worked with so many incredible people. Continue to keep up the great job. Keep teaching people how to whoop ass. Peter, best of luck on June 20th in your 5th UFC fight. I hope that goes your way. This was the Trash Talk MMA podcast, guys. I'm your host, Antoine Peltier, with my guest, striking legend Roberto Flamingo, and UFC lightweight contender Piotr Hallman. Peace.
I don't want to hear it.
Thanks for listening to the Trash Talk MMA podcast. Be sure to visit trashtalkmma.com.
On my face, behind my back, they talk trash.
And don't forget to follow Antoine on Twitter at Trash Talk MMA.
That's what you said.
Let us know you're listening. Use hashtag Trash Talk MMA.
It's a Shark Tank.
Yeah.
You're in there. Who are some of the guys that impressed you, Peter, in the lightweight division?
I don't know. Last fight, the title fight was really good.
That was pretty amazing. Were you expecting Rafael dos Anjos to put on that type of dominant performance against a stud like Anthony Pettis?
Maybe not expecting, but I knew it could go that way because he's very good, Rafael.
Yeah. All right. So we got tons of things to talk about. Roberto, you're a legendary striking coach. You've worked with the likes of, so many guys. Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort, Thiago Silva, CR, Eddie Alvarez, Fedor Emelianenko, Anthony Johnson. What an incredible legacy you have there. Tell us a little bit how you became involved with so many great people.
Yes, I was 13 years old when I moved from my original country, Suriname in South America, to Holland.
How old were you at that time?
13 years old.
13 years old?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I was 16 years old, I tried to do...
Welcome to Trash Talk MMA.
On my face, behind my back, they talk trash.
The #1 podcast for news and insight that matters in the world of mixed martial arts.
I don't want to hear it.
Brought to you live and unfiltered from all 4 corners of the globe
That's what you said.
by MMA aficionado Antoine Peltier.
Yo, and welcome to the Trash Talk MMA podcast. I'm your host, Antoine Peltier, and today I have 2 very special guests with me in Phuket, Thailand. Legendary striking coach Roberto Flamingo and UFC lightweight contender Piotr Hallman. Roberto, Peter, how you guys doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. And you?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. It's the middle of the week. We get past Monday. If you can survive Monday, everything else after that's gold, right?
Yeah, so is that.
So you guys are currently training at Tiger Muay Thai. I imagine that this is for Peter's upcoming fight on...
Kickboxing was not competing a lot because with soccer I get much more money than with kickboxing. So that's why I did it in that way. But yeah, and coaching, I think I was starting when I was 27 or something like that, 28. I started to coach, and from there on at my original gym when I started, Lucien Carbine, I trained there for 23 years, and then I left there and I started to coach Alistair Overeems.
So that was like in around 2007, right?
I always help him before with his camp because we were training at the same gym. Always I help him with his camp. In 2005 I went with him to Pride Grand Prix in Japan. And 2007 I really started to train him and do his striking, and from there on, really great thing. 6 year undefeated, and
on June 20th in Berlin. UFC Fight Night, what number is that? 2,020 million? They've got so many.
Isn't it crazy? I don't know.
I was just telling a friend, I was looking at the calendar, and there's a UFC event every single weekend till like the end of the year. It's unbelievable.
So many fights.
And it's just a few short years ago that I think a lot of us were like complaining. We're like, it's such a long wait, between events. And now it's like, you can't have a life outside of just your work during the week and then watching fights on the weekend. Are you guys big fans of watching the events live?
Especially when there are good fights, I always watch. And, because of Piotr also, then I watch the lightweight to see what they are doing, because you never know who you're gonna face, and it can be a top 10 guy or a top 15 or whatever. So I watch a lot of fights.
The lightweight division in the UFC is
kickboxing and playing soccer.
Okay.
So I was doing sport for like 7 days a week, and one day soccer, one day kickboxing, and back and forward the whole week. And I did that till I was 34 years old. Then I stopped playing soccer and keep going with the kickboxing.
Why did you choose one over the other? Because a lot of people would say, hey, I could stay and make a lot more money playing soccer than kickboxing.
Yeah, but that was my biggest part at the time when I was playing soccer and do fighting. At that time I was fighting and I get like $50.
Right.
Yeah. And I was playing soccer, then I get 10 grand for the season. So that was easy choice for me. I was keep training, but not fighting that much. Because if I was fighting on Saturday, I couldn't play on Sunday because of kickboxing. Most of the time you injure your ankle, your chin, or there's something. So I was keep training